Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions. Today, I'm going to do a brand new series which looks at comic book powers and abilities versus what was implemented in Marvel Contest of Champions. For this first episode, I'm not alone. I'm very happy to introduce and have on the channel today Mr. Grave Ender. Hi, Grave.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah! The team is back.
It's been a while.
I know, it's been a long time. And before I go anywhere, down in the description below is a link to Grave's channel, and I strongly suggest you go and have a look. I really like at the moment his new series, which is how to effectively use, and some of your favorite champions are more than likely to be there. So go ahead and go over to his channel to check it out. Also, one of the videos he's done recently in that series features on Mobile Gamer's channel, so go and have a look at that. So what is this new series? Well, I've just explained that we are going to have a look at characters and have a look and see from comic book knowledge using sources like Comicvine and Marvel.wiki, have the abilities and powers translated over to the game that we know. Myself and Grave have picked 3 characters, which are Loki, Karnak, and Gambit. And without further ado, let's go over to Loki. So from a start point, obviously what we've seen in the game, Grave, is a great character. But do we think that, you know, is he missing anything?
I honestly, the only thing I think they pretty much could have improved on would have been his level 3 attack. I think that maybe throwing in a little bit of the clones,
Yeah,
that he can form in there would have been nice.
that would be good. I mean, even it's like it's talking on the power grid. It's talking about like teleporter, higher strength, energy projection, things like that on his on there. Which I kind of think, yeah, you're absolutely right about the about creating the clones, the projections of images rather than it being a teleporter. It seemed a bit disappointing because we recently had Nightcrawler, and it's like saying, well, his L3 was kind of similar to Loki's in a sense, not 100%, but what we're trying to achieve there, the teleportation wise.
Yeah, because I mean, technically he did teleport in the move. I mean, he ended up behind him at one point, and then he comes back out from behind, and it's kind of cool. I like that aspect, but I think just having those like little astral projections of himself, like around the person. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to do either, because it would be kind of similar to what Guillotine does with the little spirits of her ancestors that come out and like stab at the end, you know. Well, you could keep it exactly the way it is, just kind of like throw those little extras in there to kind of show that the person's caught off guard by the fact that, hold on, which one is it?
Yeah, I mean, even like just looking quickly there, there's a section that says superhumanly dense tissue. And it says, like Asgardians, Loki's body's tissue have around roughly 3 times the density of the same tissue of the human being. Could they have done some kind of maybe some sort of armor, but don't obviously call it armor, but maybe something that's maybe like a buff that allows, I don't know, some sort of like damage intake, the same way that say Luke Cage gets an indestructible for a small degree of time.
I mean, they could have just thrown armor up on him.
Yeah.
And have that pop every now and again. But then, I mean, if you do that, then you'd have to go back and do it for Thor too.
Yeah, that's a good point. And obviously Thor's kind of, I don't think he's got some sort of like decent armor to him, but I suppose Loki is seen as the more kind of like the weedier kind of
He's
character.
more fragile.
Yeah, in a roundabout way.
Yeah, he's more fragile.
Yes. I'm just having a look now down. Obviously, speed is very, very important, and that's the great thing about Loki as a character in the game. He's got a great amount of speed.
Oh, he's quick. He definitely is quick in the game. I love him. I even there were so many people that complained about him before he came out just because of the look. But I mean, they went with the Agent of look, and they kind of threw some stubble on him. So the stubble wasn't exactly there as far as the comic goes, but it's a good look. I like it, and it's not that traditional like same old Loki. Every time we get a Loki, it's it's that same Loki. You know,
it could have been worse. We could have had Loki as a female. I'm not saying everything against females, obviously. Don't quote me on that one. But I'm just saying for the purpose of people seeing it in the game, we need to have the male one first, for then potentially in the future for us to get a female one.
I mean, it could have been a whole lot worse. I mean, what most people see as Loki, they see as, you know, the movie version of Loki.
Yeah.
They see that Tom Hiddleston version, and it could have been a lot worse. We could have got spandex from head to toe, except for the face region.
Yeah.
Loki.
That would be pretty bad. It's like,
I mean, that's technically all he wore. It was a full body latex suit with, you know, from the brow down. You could, from the brow to the chin was open.
Yeah, there's I've just flagged up now whilst we're talking about the one that's just up. There's a picture just up. There's like a JPEG called Loki brooding, and it's just got the one you were just talking about. It's just like
that's classic Loki.
Yeah. There's some major chafing going on, I think, there.
Yeah.
So I think like so abilities. So is it genius intelligence? Yeah, okay, you can see that. All speak. Thanks to all speak can communicate to all languages. Not really relevant to anything that could translate to the game.
No.
So
not unless you want to have him and Groot have a conversation.
Exactly. That'd be painful on the ears. Yeah, I mean, it does seem that we've got a large chunk of the abilities being kind of put over into the game. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Regenerative healing factor, like all Asgardians. Loki, although he is inhumanly durable, at least by human standards, can still obtain injury. Also, like an Asgardian, enables him to rapidly regenerate damaged tissue. Would they have made him too much like a Scarlet Witch if they added in anything else? Like if they gave him a healing factor? Or do you think it's something justified they could have added in?
I don't think so. I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Because, I mean, if you want to get down the nitty-gritty tax here, I mean, they technically should have had regenerative properties on Hulk, too.
Yeah, true.
But they didn't. So, I mean, once we get to this point, I mean, it's kind of nitpicky, the little things that we would pick out and say no to, or they should have put this in there, blah, 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 rabble, rabble, rabble. But I think overall they did a pretty good job with him.
Yeah, no, that is agreed. I think it would be a bit too unfair to add in, say, regeneration. I think that there's a good shout to have in some sort of armor. But apart from that, you're right. They've pretty much got the characters spot on.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go over to Karnak. Karnak's very interesting because he's taking like different kind of looks. I mean, the first kind of look of this kind of, again, talking about Loki, talking about Karnak, this kind of all bodysuit, kind of helmety, all in onesie thing.
And that head, man.
Oh, just it looks like the kind of the eraser end of a pencil.
It really is. It's the leader-esque kind of. If people out there are actual comic book fans, it's along the same lines as the leader from Hulk.
Yeah. It's kind of like going off a tangent here. You know, Kabam we've come a long way in the last, I'd say, and if you guys have been playing, I mean, obviously, Grave, you've been playing from day dot, but we would remember the times where Kabam would only enter in reskins or kind of new characters, like it was like the Daredevil Netflix. These are a lot of characters being reskins. This is quite exciting times for us because we've not had a lot of new characters in, but now this year, Grave, would you say that we've received more newer characters or original?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
It's just been, I'd say it's refreshing, really.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean it's like we're talking about traditional Karnak here too. I mean, they went with the all new, all different Karnak for this look, and thank God that they did, because that forehead would be pretty distracting to look at during every single fight if they if they didn't. But I like the look. I do. I like. It's the same with Agent of Asgard Loki. I actually like this look. I don't know.
It's made him quite really rugged, mysterious, which is pretty cool in any case to have like a mysterious type character.
Well, he looks like Hobo Jesus with face paint.
Yeah, that's true. He's been resurrected just for the purpose of that. So powers and abilities. I mean, in the game, he's got it's very interesting abilities. Now, whilst this is up, I'll try and put the little kind of video of him as the featured champion in the store at the moment. But the way that the character operates, it's very strange and different to the way that we've had other characters in the past. And I think it just like paves the way with the game kind of like changing in certain ways, where new characters with new abilities are going to be used for different things. It's a way of like looking at story mode and kind of going, okay, do I go down this route, this path? No, I'll need to then change my team, because I used to be very kind of slapdash with regards to, okay, same team every single game in different paths. But we're kind of like, the times they are changing, and we're changing the characters we use for different things.
Yeah.
So with Karnak, enhanced reflexes, endurance, speed, strength. The character does seem very fast in any case, especially when we face off with him in the event quest.
Yeah.
So that kind of like does ring home. Autonomic function control. Karnak has a physically conditioned his body and mind to the peak levels of efficiency. He has a voluntary control over most of his body's automatic functions: breathing, heartbeat, bleeding, reaction to pain, rate of healing. Now, I can't remember. I wonder if I can get this anything up to have a look now. Where doesn't he take down certain damage levels and kind of increase his armor levels?
In the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his passives. Given time to study his opponent, Karnak becomes focused, gaining 66% critical hit chance. Whenever he is struck, Karnak loses focus for 9 seconds. Covered in dense callus, Karnak has toughened his skin and gains 21% increased physical resistance.
Suppose that kind of rings true then with the function control.
Yeah,
so that's good to see. So enhanced durability has toughened all of the striking surface of his body in general and his hands in particular, so that they are covered with dense callus. Karnak is capable of shattering wood, cinder block, and even mild steel. So I suppose that again rings true with things like increased crit rate.
Yeah.
So that's good to see.
Also, in game, it's like every 5 seconds, Karnak reduces his class disadvantage by 2.5% until it's gone.
Ah.
So that's kind of cool.
But
that's only for a disadvantage.
Yeah. Contortionist. He is extremely lithe and flexible, able to expand and contract his muscles and contort his body into seamlessly painful positions. I don't think we particularly see that in the game. You can't see him just kind of like getting up into a small ball, rolling down and hitting the enemy over like a pin.
Yeah, I haven't seen that anywhere in the game with him, so I don't think that one technically made it in there.
So strength level, high strength level. He can lift and press about 1 ton. I don't think we see anything like that. Imagine I can try to pick up, say, the Hulk and obviously the he would be able to do that with the way the game's set up, but you won't see him kind of lifting a huge load of 1 ton and throwing it at an enemy.
No, this isn't Mortal Kombat, and we don't have the mini games.
But saying that, though, I think in one of his specials he does kind of like he hits into the ground and then up pops a piece of not like masonry from the floor, and he fires it at him, so at the enemy. So but unfortunately it's not like a big boulder, so that would be cool if he kind of like managed to kind of ping up a big boulder and just like hurl it at the enemy.
Yeah.
The same, but I suppose in some ways that's a bit too much similar to Joe Fixit, because he does that on the L2.
Yeah. But Red Hulk does it too.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's Red Hulk. Does it, smashes the ground, picks it up, throws it at him.
I suppose we could say that there's good kind of matching abilities to the to what's been put in the game, so that's positive to see. Have you got any more to kind of add to that, or do you think we've covered that?
No, I think they did pretty good. It's really, I mean, other than the subtle details between the two of them, it's really kind of hard to differentiate, Karnak from Iron Fist,
Yeah,
because they both kind of have the same thing going on, that whole martial arts background stuff. The only difference is that Karnak can do a little bit more than Iron Fist can, and he's not really mysticky.
Yeah, I think the only argument would be the final kind of argument with this character would be skill or cosmic.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing that I kind of I don't know, because he isn't inhuman.
Yeah.
So I thought he would have been cosmic as well, but skill is the way to go in Contest of Champions.
Absolutely. Right, let's get over to our final character, Mr. Remy LeBeau himself, Gambit. And this is one that I think everybody's been asking for a long time, and it's good to see these characters coming in that we've been hoping for the last I'd say couple of years now. Yeah. Obviously, the biggest thing that's been just to see how the molecular acceleration, power to take potential enemy energy stored in an object and converted to kinetic energy, thus charging that item with explosive results. Obviously, we've got that, so that's great. It then goes down. It talks about stuff like cutting ability. Charged objects can also have a razor edge, emitting an energized flow that can slice through objects or work like an explosive cookie cutter by energizing around wherever Gambit wishes and having it explode harmlessly. Yeah, I think in some ways that's sort of there, except it's more used for kind of damage. We wouldn't just kind of use it as like a firecrackers. He's full out there to kind of cause damage.
You kind of get that with his L2.
Yeah.
Energizes the staff and then smashes the ground with it and causes like the tremor.
So you've got disillusion. Gambit can also cause objects to pull themselves apart instead of exploding violently, making them harmlessly melt down to nothing. I think a lot of this is kind of very kind of common with Gambit. Like disruption, Gambit can tame his explosive acceleration to temporarily scramble a person's sensory awareness, knocking them out cold, which I think we get. Is it L2?
Concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get stunned, don't we?
Well, he does the concussion.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of the same thing there. It takes away the sensory awareness.
That's positive. Enhanced conditioning. Gambit's ability to tap energy also grants him superhuman speed, strength and reflexes and reactions, flexibility, dexterity, coordination, balance, and endurance via charging himself. I've not spent a lot of time playing against the character. I wish I got him. I suppose dexterity and like evade kind of like go hand in hand, part and parcel. But does the character get any kind of base evade? I can't remember if I've actually kind of come into contact with him getting any.
Not that I know of. No, there's not a base evade there for him.
That's a bit of a shame not to see that. I would say that he's got good speed and some strength, but maybe like an extra kind of buffing, similar to. I know we didn't want him to be anything close to Moon Knight, but some of the abilities that Moon Knight actually possesses, like having Fury, Evade, and may have been good to kind of at least translate some of it over.
Yeah.
Accelerating regeneration. Gambit has affected his own recovery through his process, having once healed after removing a piece of rebar lodged in his chest. Once his eyes were damaged by a changed card exploding in his face, and Sage had augmented his powers, enabling him to restore his sight. Right, so affected his own recovery. I guess that's kind of
be a regeneration.
Yeah.
See, that's where we run into the problem, like we were talking with Loki earlier.
Yeah.
There are so many characters out there that actually can regenerate themselves. It's not even funny. If you start giving it to all of them, then we've got a bunch of regen characters in the game.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose the argument is then where things like mastery is set up in the way that you can get healing, a regeneration of a recovery even. Sorry. I suppose that's the argument, and that's obviously where that comes in for. Yes, they can, because we've got the masteries for that.
Yeah, because you got willpower.
Yeah. In some capacity, we've got willpower. Vibrations emissions. Gambit through the kinetic acceleration instead of conversion can emit a shockwave accompanying a bright flashbang which leaves a sizable crater in the ground. I suppose we get some sort of thing close to that with like the specials, but nothing close to a sizable crater.
Yeah.
Obviously with things like the Horseman, as the Horseman of Death, Remy received new abilities and new appearances, but obviously we won't get, unless they decide to do more characters like this, like Gambit, Horseman, something like that, then that's the only kind of way that we would get him.
Yeah, let's hope not.
No, because we'll be going too kind of far with this kind of things. But
no, I mean, I hope that from here on out we just don't get any more reskin characters.
Yeah.
There's so many characters in the Marvel universe to keep doing reskins of the same thing. It's like Weapon X. I don't think they're putting him in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they're not. I mean, he is arguably probably the best Wolverine that they've done.
Yeah.
But there's too many.
Yeah, you're right. It's just becoming a bit much. But of all the three that we've chosen, which one do you think is the one that has been implemented the best, in your opinion?
Loki.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. The only thing I can pick up with is the armor, but that's just a very kind of brief and kind of small point there about having some extra armor to the character. What would you say would be the least implemented from abilities in the comic book translated over?
Probably Gambit.
Yeah, it does seem that way. It's kind of like an underwhelming, and I think like I said, I'd hope that some of the abilities from Moon Knight, the evade, and maybe even some kind of fury kind of transferring over, or something to kind of increase the damage at times. Karnak's kind of in the middle, and I think the argument would be cosmic skill, but apart from that, yeah, it's been good. Thank you very much for joining me in this first and continuing series, Grave.
Anytime.
And like I said, guys, go down to the description, over to Grave's channel, and make sure that you're watching his material. Like I said, How to Effectively Use series is fantastic. You should check it out. Make sure you guys tune back again, because we'll be doing some more of these, hopefully with Grave as well, and picking 3 more characters. If you guys have got a suggestion of 3 characters you'd like us to have a look at, then please let us know in the comments below. Anyway, if you want to say goodbye, Grave.
Goodbye, Grave.
And it's goodbye from me. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe for more. Catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Sammy the Toys, head of marketing here at the RichTheMan channel. And if you enjoyed that video, then hit that subscribe button and give the boy a like. Now give me some bloody lettuce. Yeah, that's nice. It's like what I want to see. Right. Yum. So good. Yeah, tasty. Yum.